Hello and welcome to your yoga flow to feel your best. We'll go ahead and get started in an easy seat. Come to sit on your mat, placing one leg in front of the other. Bring your palms to rest on your knees and take a big shoulder roll back. Begin to bring awareness to the breath and any physical sensations going on in your body. Feel your rib cage expand with each inhale and contract with each exhale. Flutter your eyes open. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, drop your right arm over to the right side as you reach your left arm up and over for a side body stretch. Revolve your chest open towards the sky and take your gaze up. Try to keep that left sit bone glued onto the mat and breathe. Inhale, come back through center, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, drop your left arm over to the left side as you reach your right arm up and over, side body stretch. Revolve your chest open and take your gaze up as you breathe space into your right side body. Inhale, reach your arms back overhead. Exhale, release your hands back down to the mat. Crossing your right leg in front of your left, inhale. Exhale, hinge forward, crawl your fingertips out long in front of you. Rest your forehead towards the earth. Noticing any sensations going on your right outer hip, and keep breathing deeply. Inhale, crawl your fingertips back towards you, lift your torso up. Exhale, switch out your legs, place your left foot in front of your right this time. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, crawl your fingertips out long in front of you. Hinge from your hips. Rest your forehead toward the earth. Again, just noticing the sensations that may arise here on your left hip and breathe deeply into that space. Begin to walk your fingertips back towards you as you lift your torso up. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, interlace your hands above your head and flip your palms up towards the sky. Feeling this stretch in your shoulders, your biceps, and your wrists. Release the clasp and bring your palms behind you on the earth, fingertips pointing away from you. Begin to lift your chest towards the sky for a heart opener. Take your gaze up and option to let your head fall back if that feels good for you. Begin to release this shape. Bring your head and your neck back to a neutral position. Come over onto hands and knees in a tabletop pose. Stack your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. Find a gentle sway side to side with your hips to reset your spine. Come to find a neutral tabletop. We'll find a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly, lift your gaze. Exhale, cat. Dome your back, send your navel to your spine. Gaze at your belly button. Inhale, cow. Drop your belly. Exhale, cat. Dome your back. Inhale, cow. Shine your heart forward. Exhale, cat. Dome your back. Really push into your palms. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Come to find a neutral tabletop. Plant your left palm on the mat. Inhale, right arm reaches up to the sky. Gaze up. Exhale, thread the needle. Send your right arm underneath your left. You bring your right shoulder in the side of your head to rest down on the mat. Option to walk your left fingertips up towards the top of the mat and breathe deeply into this twist. Option to stay here, or if you'd like to add another layer, reach your left arm behind your back for a half bind. Fingertips reach towards your right thigh crease. Wherever you are today, just continue to breathe deeply into this space. If you have the half bind, release. Place your left palm back to the mat. Inhale, right arm reaches up to the sky. Exhale, tabletop pose. Shimmy your hips side to side to reset the spine. Plant your right palm on the mat. Inhale, left arm reaches up to the sky. Exhale, thread the needle, send your left arm under your right. Your left shoulder in the side of your head will come to rest down on the mat. Option 2, walk your right fingertips up to the top of your space, finding a little bit more length in your side body. Breathe deeply into this twist. Option to stay here, or if you'd like to add another layer, find a half bind, reach your right arm behind your back, your right fingertips reach for your left thigh crease. If you have the half bind, release. Place your right palm back onto the mat. Inhale, left arm reaches up to the sky. Exhale, tabletop pose. Extend your right leg behind you, coming to hover off the mat. Hold and breathe. Flex your right toes down towards the ground and drop your right hip in line with your left to square your hips. Begin to lower your right foot down to the mat, coming high on the ball mount of your right foot for a calf stretch. Begin to kick your right heel towards the back of your mat, finding some small movements forward and back. Begin to bring your left toes over to the left side, coming off of the mat as you ground that right palm down on the earth and reach your left arm up. Try to ground the sole of your right foot down. And then begin to lift your torso up, bringing your head over your hips. Begin to find a side body stretch as you reach your left arm up and over. Right palm slides down your right leg. Breathing here. Start to lift your torso back up, head over your heart. Make your way back into tabletop, hands and knees. Bring that right knee in to meet your left. We'll find that on the other side. Extend your left leg out long behind you, hovering off the mat. Flex those left toes down, hold and breathe. Really push into your palms. And then when you're ready, begin to drop that left foot down towards the earth, coming up high on the ball mount of your left foot. Kick your heel towards the back of your mat to really get into your left calf. Begin to turn your right toes out towards your right side, coming off the mat as you ground that right palm down into the earth and then reach your left arm up towards the sky. Lift your torso up, bringing your head over your heart. Find that big side body stretch as you reach your right arm up and over. Slide your left palm down your left leg and breathe into this opening. Begin to lift your torso up, bring your head over your heart, and then make your way back into your tabletop pose. Coming into hands and knees, draw that left knee in to meet your right. Shimmy out your hips side to side, reset your spine, and then tuck your toes under, send your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Keeping a bend in your knees here if needed, finding any movements that may be calling to you today. Option to walk out your dog, pedaling through your feet, bending into one knee as you straighten through the other. Shake your head no, and then yes. Find 2 more rounds of breath. Take what you need. When you find stillness in your downward facing dog, walk your hands back towards your feet, towards the back of your mat, coming into a ragdoll pose. Find a generous bend through your knees. Feet are about hip width distance apart. Option to grab opposite elbows with opposite hands. And find a gentle sway side to side, shifting your weight from one foot to the other. Let your head and neck dangle and feel this release. Bring your fingertips to the mat, toe heel your feet together to touch. Interlace your hands behind your head And then slowly rise up to stand. So tucking that chin in towards your chest. When you arrive to stand, let your head come up over your heart over your pelvis, and just shake it out. Shake out your hands, shake out your legs, just shaking out any stale energy. Big inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands through heart center. Feel all four corners of your feet ground down into your mat. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, interlace your hands behind your back. Draw your shoulders away from your ears as you inhale. Lift your chest, take your gaze up. Exhale, begin to fold forward, hinge from your waist. Let your knuckles fall up and over. Keep your knees as bent as needed if your hamstrings are feeling tight. Maybe you find a small wobble side to side. Release the grasp on your hands. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back, fingertips come to your shins or thighs. Exhale, bring your palms down to the mat and begin to walk them out long in front of you. Coming into downward facing dog, lift your hips up. Lift your right leg high into three-legged dog. Firmly press your palms into the mat. Maybe you stay here with your legs straight, or option to bend into that right knee, opening up your right hip flexor towards the sky. Begin to shift forward, bringing your shoulders over your wrists, and step that right foot outside of your right hand. Both hands are on the inside of your right foot. Find some small movements forward and back. Coming into runner's lunge, drop your back knee down, untuck your toes. Stay with your breath, breathing space into that right hip. Now, option to stay here on your palms. Another option is to roll over onto the knife edge of your right foot and come down onto your forearms. So getting a little bit deeper into that right hip. Maybe you stay here today, or if you'd like to find a quad stretch, begin to bend into your back leg as you sweep that right arm back and grab hold of your left foot with your right hand as you revolve your chest open towards the right. Continue to breathe wherever you are. If you have the quad stretch, release, come back into that runner's lunge. So you toe heel your right foot into center, and then tuck your back toes under, finding a pyramid pose as you straighten through that right leg. So always know that you can keep a soft bend in that front leg if needed. And then also, if you need to shorten your stance, you can do that as well by just taking a step forward with your back foot towards the center of your mat. Now, maybe you find stillness in your pyramid pose today, or option to find some fluid movement. As you inhale, find length. Exhale to fold deeper. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, begin to walk your hands over towards the left edge of your mat. As you bend into your left knee and straighten through your right leg, finding our side lunge. So option to keep your fingertips on the mat and your hips lifted a little bit. Bringing your hands through heart center, or option to find a bind, reaching your arms behind your back as you clasp your fingertips. Try to keep that chest lifted. Flex your right toes up towards the sky and breathe. When you're ready, bring your fingertips back down to the earth and walk your hands to frame your right foot, low lunge. As you inhale, three-legged dog, lift your right leg high. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's switch out sides. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Breathing here. Maybe you keep that leg straight, or option to bend into that left knee, opening up that left hip flexor towards the sky. Make sure your weight is evenly distributed between both palms. Begin to shift forward, bring your shoulders over your wrists, and then step your left foot outside of your left hand. Both hands are on the inside of your left foot. Finding our runner's lunge. Drop your back knee down, untuck your toes. Lift your chest slightly. Imagine you're breathing space into that left hip. maybe you find some small movement here. Option to stay on your palms or begin to spin over onto the knife edge of your left foot and bring your forearms down onto your mat. Getting a little bit deeper into your left hip. Continue to be with your breath wherever you are. If you would like to find a quad stretch, bend into your back leg. Send your heel towards your glute as you sweep that left hand back and maybe grab hold of your right foot. To open your chest over towards the left side. If you have the quad stretch, release. Bring your palms back down to your mat. Toe heel your left foot into center. Framing your left foot with your hands, tuck your back toes under. Begin to straighten through your left leg, coming into pyramid pose. Remember, you can always find a soft bend in that left knee as needed. If you need to shorten your stance, just take a step forward with your back foot. Maybe you find stillness in this pose, or if you'd like to find some fluidity, inhale to lift and lengthen, exhale to fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, begin to walk your hands over towards the right side of your mat. As you bend into your right knee and straighten through your left, coming into your side lunge. Maybe you keep your fingertips on the mat with your hips lifted, or option to bring your hands through heart center. Or maybe you find that bind reaching your hands behind your back as you clasp fingertips. Keep your chest lifted and flex those left toes up towards the sky. If you have the bind, begin to release. Bring your palms back down to your mat. Walk your hands back up to the front of your space to frame your left foot, low lunge. Inhale, three-legged dog. Lift your left leg high. Exhale, downward facing dog. Begin to shift forward into plank, stacking your shoulders over your wrists. Always remember you can drop down onto your knees if needed here. As you inhale, begin to shift forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly, hugging your elbows in towards your ribs. When you arrive, untuck your toes, push the tops of your feet into the mat. Bring your arms out wide off of the mat. As you tense your fingertips, inhale, begin to lift your chest, straighten through your arms. Exhale to lower your chest down to your mat, elbows stay out wide. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. Bring your palms under your shoulders as you come through tabletop. Then bring your big toes to touch and your knees out wide. Melt your hips back towards your heels. Child's pose. Walk your hands out long in front of you and bring your forehead to rest down on your mat. Come back to your breath. Come back to the feeling of being in your own body. Begin to walk your hands up towards you as you lift your torso. Then come over to sit on your bottom. Extend your legs out long in front of you. Begin to bend into your right leg, sending the sole of your right foot inside your left inner thigh. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale to fold over your left leg, hinging from your hips. Grab hold of your shin, your ankle, or your foot, and breathe here. On an inhale, lift your chest, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, let's switch out our legs. Extend your right leg long. Place the sole of your left foot inside your right thigh. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale to fold over your right leg, grabbing hold of your shin, your ankle, or your foot, and continuing to breathe deeply. Begin to lift your torso up, reach your arms up overhead, and then make your way onto your back. So we'll come to lie down on our backs. When you arrive, draw your knees in towards your chest. Find a gentle rock side to side, massaging your lower back. Drop your palms on your mat alongside your body and extend your legs up the wall, reaching the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. Ground your lower back down into your mat. Allow your feet to be above your heart. Begin to drop the soles of your feet back down to the earth, drawing your heels in close to your glutes until your fingertips can brush them. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, begin to peel your hips up off of the earth, finding your bridge pose. Option to stay here today, or if you'd like to find a chest expansion, walk your shoulder blades underneath you, interlace your palms, let them fall down under your bottom on your mat. Really push the soles of your feet into the earth to lift your hips. One more breath. And as you exhale, slowly release your spine back down to the earth. Place your right ankle on top of your left thigh, coming into supine figure 4. Let your right knee open out wide. Option to stay here, or maybe you float your feet up off of the earth. Interlace your hands around your left knee or thigh. So the more that you draw those legs in towards you, the more you'll feel this stretch through your right outer hip. Take 2 deep rounds of breaths. Release the grasp on your left leg if you have it, and drop the sole of your left foot down onto your mat. Keep this figure 4 shape with your legs. Take an inhale in. As you exhale, find a spinal twist to the left. Drop your knees over to the left side. Take your gaze over to the right. You can tee out your arms here. Maybe close off your eyes. Begin to lengthen your inhales and your exhales. On an inhale, begin to draw your knees back into center. Exhale, we'll switch out legs. Place your left ankle on top of your right thigh this time. For supine figure 4, maybe you keep your legs as they are, or option to float those legs up off of the earth, interlacing your hands around your right knee or your thigh. The more you draw those legs in towards you, the more that you will feel this stretch through your left outer hip. Take 2 rounds of breath here. Begin to release the grasp on your leg. If you have it, keep the figure 4 shape with your legs. Place the sole of your right foot down on the mat. Inhale in. Exhale, find that supine twist to the right. Let your legs fall over to the right side as you take your gaze to the left. You can cactus out your arms here. Maybe close off your eyes. And begin to connect with your breath. Inhale. Exhale, draw your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a hug. And then come to find your supine butterfly pose. Bring the soles of your feet together to touch. Let your knees fall out wide. Placing your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your belly. Close off your eyes. Feel the rise and fall of your belly with each inhale, each exhale. When you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest, and then roll over onto your right side using your bicep as a pillow. Push yourself up to a comfortable seat on your mat. Option to keep your eyes closed here as we seal our practice together today. You can bring your hands through heart center. Thank you so much for joining me on your mat today. I hope to see you again soon. So we bring our thumbs to our third eye center and bow together with gratitude for this practice. Namaste.